You asked for a tutorial, and I'm attempting to deliver. Some of you wanted to know more about eBay business policies, and some of you wanted to know more about eBay store categories, and I even have some bulk editing in here. So I have a little bit of everything in this tutorial. If you're new here, I'm Vicki. Our channel is Avante-Avenue. We are predominantly resellers on eBay. And this is a tutorial, and I'm going to show you how I use the eBay policies and the store categories and the bulk editing. I'm not sure that you can use these features if you don't have a store, because I've had a store so long, I don't know. I don't know if you can use these or not. But even if you don't have a store, I think this video will help you because you might find it worth getting a store when you know about some of these features. First up is eBay business policies, which can include a return policy, a shipping policy, immediate payment due policy. There's a lot of different policies you can set up. I use all of them, and I have a lot of shipping policies. So let's get started. Business policies. One place to find it is under Seller Hub. On the left-hand side under Settings, we've got Business Policies. Let's click on that. Once you click on that, it brings you to this page, Business Policies. And you can see I have several set up here. To create a business policy, you go under Create Policy, open that up, and you can create a policy for payment, for return, for shipping. Let's do one for shipping. You can name this whatever you want. Let's say that I want to charge a flat rate for clothing, so I choose $5.95 and I want to name it Ground Advantage, or you could use GA for short. The policy description, I'll just put GA. You can choose here when you're setting it up. You can choose flat or same cost to all buyers. You can also set up a policy for calculated that varies by buyer's location. There's one here for items over 150 pounds. I've never used that. And you can also create a policy for no shipping, local pickup only. Well, I created a flat cost. The service that I'm going to choose is Ground Advantage, 2 to 5 business days. The cost I said was $5.95. If you have a listing with quantity and you want to set up a price for each additional, you can do that here. If you want to set this up, Ground Advantage, and you didn't want a price up here, $5.95, you could choose free shipping here. But we're setting this one up for $5.95 and nothing for additional. It's just one item listings. At this point, we're not applying any flat shipping rule or promotional shipping rule. We're just setting up a very basic shipping policy. Select a handling time. We like to have a 3-day handling time. You might want to have 1 or 2. What are they flagging us here? Excessive, not typical, to go over 3 days. Okay. You can choose if you want international shipping. The same cost to all buyers, calculated costs, varies by buyer location, or no international shipping. For now, we're doing no international. I'm not using a rate table. I'm not going to get into that today. And then you would save. I'm going to sort these by name. You can see that it puts $11.95 first because it's going by the first digit here. Here's what we just set up. You can edit it here. You can copy it, delete it, set it as default. And right now we don't have anything in it. To add items to your shipping policy, you would need to go to your listings, and what I recommend is selecting several and doing bulk edit. Let's jump over and I'll show you. I'm in Manage Active Listings. I have 3 listings that I've pulled up, and I would select all of them by checking the top box, Edit Selected. Here they are, all 3. Check the top box, go to Bulk Edit, go to Shipping Policy, and that's where you can change and select a shipping policy. And there it is right there. And that's where you would choose to change it to the $5.95 that I just set up for Ground Advantage. I don't want to change that. So actually, instead of submitting all, I'm just going to back out of here. I don't want to change my own listings. Hope you understand that. Set up for no return. I have a payment policy set up for immediate payment. Let's talk about why we use shipping policies. So let's say we want to set up a payment policy. I already have one set up. but you can create a new one. You can name it whatever you would like. You can set it as a default for your payment policy. This is where I've checked require immediate payment when buyer uses buy it now. And you can, I guess, accept other methods, cash on pickup. Does anybody do checks or money order anymore? I don't know about that. But let's go back and look at my existing policy that I have. Here are some of my policies here. I have a return policy set up for no return. I have a payment policy set up for immediate payment due. Let's go take a look at this. I set this up a long time ago. It's pretty simple. Immediate payment due. I have a description of it. Buy it now. Single items, no options, no quantity. I've set it as my default payment policy, and I require immediate payment when buyer uses buy it now. So that's what my payment policy looks like. I can cancel out of here or save it. I'm not changing anything, so I'll just cancel out. My return policy is pretty simple. It says no return policies. That's what I named it. No return on this item. It's my default policy. I know they're trying to tell me that offering a 30-day helps my listing qualify for top-rated benefits. That's okay. I will pass. I have it turned off for returns. I have it turned off for international returns, and that's where you can save it. I'm just going to cancel back out of that. Next, I'm going to show you the policy that I use the most. It's a shipping policy, and you can see I flagged it with use this one. So let's go in and take a look at that. Because when you're looking through the list of shipping options, it sometimes helps to make sure that you don't choose the wrong one. I've had several times where it defaults to free shipping for some reason. I'm like, no, I don't want free shipping on this. So I named it with an asterisk, use this, another asterisk, calculated GA for ground advantage, or PR for priority, 2-day handling. And yes, these are at 2-day handling. I use 3-day handling mostly at the holidays. And then I created a policy description. I just typed this in, 2 options, calculated ground advantage or priority. I have 2 options for this listing. That means the buyer can choose whether they want it ground advantage or priority. I chose calculated costs, varies by buyer location. That way it's calculated by their zip code. For services, I chose ground advantage, 2 to 5 business days. For priority mail, just regular priority mail. You can offer additional services or you can remove a service right here. You can also choose free shipping if you want. The handling time, as you see, I have 2 days on here. I do not have a handling cost on here. No international shipping. This is mostly for my hard goods that I don't want to ship internationally. The excluded locations were set up at another location, and then you save. Let's talk about why we use shipping policies. If you don't know, the USPS is raising postage rates in the month of July. 2 raises this month of July 2024. And I find that using eBay shipping policies is quite handy for when the USPS raises their prices. You know, sometimes I just use a flat rate of $4.95 or $5.95 or $6.95, a flat rate for ground advantage. But most of our listings are set up with calculated shipping, calculated for ground advantage and calculated for priority. That way the buyer can choose how they want the item shipped. They save a little bit on ground advantage. Sometimes it comes in close, but for the most part, the majority of our buyers choose ground advantage. But if there's any change to be made at all across all of our 2,700 plus listings, all I have to do is change the business policy. I don't have to go in and change everything else. Changing the business policy, updating it, changing the price, changing the specs of how I set it up will automatically update all the listings. So that's predominantly why we use business policies for shipping. But let's keep going here. You can see that I have quite a few shipping policies set up, like this $11.95 padded flat rate envelope. I've got 22 items under that. $3.95 plus $1 for additional jewelry. I use that. As you see, for jewelry, I have 188 items. Let's take a look at that. I named it $3.95 plus $1 for additional. I use it primarily for jewelry. I made myself a note that there's no international shipping, created a policy description, and it's a flat cost to all buyers. U.S. ground advantage, I charge $3.95, which doesn't completely cover the cost when it's going to California, and they're raising rates here in July, so While I'm here, I might as well just raise that to $4.95 because everything is going up. And then $1 for each additional. And since I'm changing it to $4.95, I need to change it up here in my policy name and my policy description to $4.95 plus $1. And then save. Confirm. That affects 189 listings. I just updated this one to be $4.95, so does it make any sense to have this one at $4.95 for additional jewelry and patterns, etc.? I have 175 listings here. Well, shipping is going up, so I might as well go in and edit this one, raise it $1, because, you know, everything is going up. Again, it's Ground Advantage, $5.95, $2 each additional. Handling time 3 business days, no international shipping. And save. Confirm. Are you still with me? If you're enjoying this video, be sure to give us a like, comment, and subscribe, and keep watching. There's more. As I'm looking over here on the right-hand side under listings, it tells me how many I have in a particular category. I've been cleaning these up over the last month, and I must have moved these. So since I have 0 here, I'm going to go to edit and delete that policy. There's nothing under that one. Same thing here under this calculated USPS parcel, $1.95. I have 0 there. I'm going to delete that one. It's good to go back and clean these up once in a while. I have 3 under this parcel, $7.95. Although I have to say I'm not sure why it says USPS parcel. I'm going to go in and take a look at that. Let's edit that. Let's take a look at this. It says it's Ground Advantage. It must be an old one that I still need to clean up. So this is what I'm going to do. It's good to show you this anyway. Let's close out of this. So let's cancel that. This is a good example of how to move things over. So I have 86 under this $4.95. Let's click on the number 86 and view the active listings. And here are the listings, 86 of them. I want to move these over to a different policy. So I'm going to select all of them by clicking the top box. Let's edit, select it, or edit all 86. It's the same thing, really. I'm not finishing any previously. I'm going to continue with this. Select all, go down to shipping policy change, and then select the policy. And you can see all my different options there. Again, with shipping going up this month, I'm a little concerned, but I think I'm going to go to a flat rate of $6.95. No international, 2-day handling. I've got 950 listings there already. I'm going to move these over to that policy. Submit and done. Go back to the business policies. Do know that it can take some time for these to go to 0. You might have to check back hours later until this goes to 0 before you delete the policy. So what loose ends do we have in here? I have this $3.95 plus $1 for additional jewelry. I told you that most of the time we can't ship for $3.95. I've got one listing still stuck in here. Could be stuck because it's rolling over. It might be in the last 24 hours, or there could be an offer out on this. In fact, I think that's why there's an offer on it. So I don't even think I can fix this. I'm going to go in and try. It's only one, so I'm not doing bulk edit. Okay, certain details can't be changed due to the current status. I sent an offer, so I can't change it. So as you can see on the far right-hand side under listings, I have no return policy. Actually, I have it on everything, but there are probably some old listings that I just don't have it set up through the policy itself, the default policy of no return. As far as immediate payment due, I have that due on everything that is not a listing with variations. I do not have immediate payment due on listings with variations because that would make it difficult for the buyer to buy more than one. I think I talked about that recently in a video. I have 886 listings under a flat rate of $6.95 Ground Advantage. You know that description that we filled in? Here it is over here. I have 872 listings under use this because I'm flagging myself that that's my primary one that I use for calculated ground or priority mail with 2-day handling. Something I haven't shown you yet. I have 384 listings under glass and fragile calculated Ground Advantage or priority plus, yes, plus $1.95 handling fee. Let's take a look at that. I pretty much read everything off to you on the other page. You You can see it's set up for calculated shipping, ground advantage, and priority mail, 2 business days. But I'm using a handling cost here of $1.95 for items that are fragile, that I know from experience are going to require extra packing material or extra time. Let's say somebody buys 6 coffee cups or a figurine that's going to take extra time. Anything that I feel takes extra time and material, I have added a $1.95 handling fee. You might think that the buyer sees this fee as a separate cost. They do not. They don't. eBay rolls this $1.95 right into the shipping cost. So the buyer doesn't even know it's there. All they know is how much shipping that they're paying. I was surprised by that, but I'm happy by it. And I'm not doing any international shipping on this. So let's cancel. So up next, we're going to talk about eBay store categories. As I said in the opening, I'm including store categories, eBay store categories in this video because many of you have asked me about it. And it's something I don't think I've ever really talked about in detail. So up next, we're going to talk about eBay store categories. Keyword is store. You know, you have to have a store to set up categories, but I find store categories quite helpful for a lot of reasons. It's not necessarily because a buyer goes to my store and looks at a category and buys 3, 4, 5 items. It's not for that reason. It's more on our end that I can sort things and make changes to pricing or set sales based upon category. Now, we're not getting into sales today, those features. If that's something you want a video on, leave a comment and let me know. But right now, we're going to talk about eBay store categories. Let's take a look at store categories. In Seller Hub, under store, you find store categories. I've been using store categories for years. I think it's quite handy, especially when I want to make changes. Of course, I already have mine set up, but you can add store categories right here. Add store categories. You can see that I have categories set up for holiday decor and more, home goods and decor, and the reason I put Avante under here is I wanted them to show up first because these are in alphabetical order. Avante jewelry, books, media, boys, youth clothing, BSA is Boy Scouts. I have a clearance category with 140 items in it. Craft corner, games, plush, toys, girls, juniors, clothing. You know, I can delete that now. I've moved everything over to clearance. So because I have 0 in there, I'm going to go ahead and delete that category. It's just not something I want to pursue. Home appliances and replacement parts, men's clothing. I have 199 items. Shoes and baby and children. I'm trying to get away from that too, so I think I'll just delete that category. I have all of that in clearance. I can always add it back if I want to. Men's shoes for men, shoes for women. That way all the shoes are together by, because they are alphabetical. Instead of putting men's shoes where it'd be under M and women's shoes under W. Unisex adult t-shirts. I don't need that category anymore. Delete. I haven't been in here for a long time. So even though I love using it, I haven't changed anything for a while. Then I have women's accessories and women's clothing. Now, I remember someone recently asking me about subcategories. Do you see the little drop-down arrows? That means I have subcategories set up under here. Not only can you add a subcategory to your category, you can add 2 subcategories to your category. I only have 1, but you can add 2 if you want. You can see I have all home goods and decor, but then I also do something kind of unusual, I think. I have home goods by material. I did that so it's easier for me to choose what I want to put on sale. For instance, if I just want to put brass and metal on sale, I have 146 items. Or ceramic or porcelain items, I have 392. I have fabric and natural materials, glassware, 353 listings. Paper and prints, not so many, only 8. Pottery, 65, and wood, 53. Under the Boy Scouts, I have patches and then other patches that are not Boy Scout patches, if that makes any sense, but I put them there. Men's clothing, these are the sizes I have set up. I have accessories with a subcategory of belts and buckles, caps and hats and ties. Men's swim shorts and trunks, all one category. You see they're in alphabetical order. That's why the small is showing up here. XL and XXL. And then women's accessories, I have subcategories. belts, hair care, handbags, hats, jewelry. Jewelry I have broken down by bracelets, brooches, pins, or you can read the rest of them here. So I have a lot of subcategories. And under women's clothing, I have a whole bunch of subcategories, as you can see here. And I've been getting rid of 0 in petite, so I'm going to delete that. I have plus size women's. I haven't been putting them separately now in plus size women's. I just put them under the size. So I'm going to delete that. Make sure there's nothing in it though. Make sure it's 0 over here. I'm not deleting these sizes because I might come across them. And I guess I have one thing left in small. And you can see a while back I donated all my extra small in size 0. So I'm going to delete that. I don't have any plans to get any more of those sizes. I mean, you never know, right? So how did I set up those subcategories? And why am I putting this into a video with shipping policies? Well, I'll show you that in just a second. First of all, under Edit, you can move a subcategory, you can rename a subcategory, you can delete a subcategory. When you expand all the categories, you see all the subcategories automatically underneath it. But because I want to show more items on the page, I'm just going to put back to what I showed you the first time. Created subcategories, 66 of 300. I think they're saying I can actually have 300 categories. So let's say this holiday decor and more. Let's say that I want to add a subcategory. Do you see that it lets me do it right here? That's what we're going to do. We're going to go to add subcategory. Let's say I want to have a subcategory just for Christmas ornaments. I would type that in here. You can add more. And then that subcategory, well, it belongs under Avante Holiday Decor and More, but if I want to, I can move it to another category right here. I'm not going to, but I can. And you can see it's being created right here at the top. I'm happy with where I'm putting it under Holiday Decor. And then I can save it. Oh, it wants me to choose. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. And save. So now you'll see Christmas ornaments under this subcategory. And you can add subcategories under subcategories. You really can. So that's where you find it. If I already have subcategories, like I do here and here, I can still go over and add more subcategories. So that's where you add it. I want to show you why, first I'm going to delete this one. I want to show you why I think why categories and policies like shipping policies work so well together. Let's say that I need to change my shipping policy on glassware. I have two ways of doing it. I can do it directly through my shipping policies, or I can just come in here to my glassware, click on this quantity here, quantity of listings of 353, and it's going to bring up all my listings in that category. I'll show you here. 200 of 353 showing here. So if I wanted to edit the shipping policy on all of these, I can simply select them, edit, edit selected, brings it into bulk edit, select all of them, if in fact they were all the same weight, which we know they are not. So maybe this wasn't a good one to grab, but I can go into here and change the shipping policy right here. Change to and select the policy. I'm not going to do that. I'm not changing, but if I'm using calculated shipping on all of these, which I do think I am, I can choose my use this calculated ground advantage or priority. But I don't want to change anything today, so I'm just going to back out of this. I could also cancel edits here on the bottom right corner. So back to the store categories. Do you see this button here for reorder? This is where you can choose the order of your categories and how you want them to be seen in your store. I happen to prefer alphabetical order, but you can choose by number of listings in each category. You can manually choose, and manually choose would be where you can arrow up and down and sort your categories. So that's something you can do right here. You can categorize your, if you have second level categories, you can move them around here, and third category. So you have 3 levels of categories that you can set up. I like alphabetical, so I'm just going to exit this here. So having categories can be handy for a lot of reasons. For people coming to your store and looking for things, to updating and changing your policies, because it separates it all right here, as well as under your active listings. Under your active listings, you have all your categories here. Next, I'm going to show you how I use the search feature for finding my listings in case I want to just change a price on a group of listings, or if I wanted to change the shipping policy, or there's a whole host of things you can change in bulk edit, but I start by finding the category that I want to work with. It helps when I'm setting sales. So let me show you here. So let's say you're searching for something. Let's say that I want to find, out of all categories, I want to find for mugs, you know, like a coffee mug. It's going to bring up all my coffee mugs. But let's say that I want to change, now here's the categories that you saw. Here's all my categories that I showed you. Let's say I want to go into a specific category, like my holiday decor, and I just want to look up ornament. Item title contains the word ornament. It brings up 196 ornaments. So store categories have their uses. Let's say, okay, so I've been changing prices on things. Say that I'm doing a price markdown and I'm in my clearance category. Oh, not two categories, just clearance category. So let's search the clearance category. Brings 140 items up, and you can see they're $18.49. I've been lowering the price 50 cents every week, and I need to do that today. But I have some $18.49 items in all my categories. So let's reset this to all the categories, meaning we have 2,724 items in our eBay store. Instead of search by title, go by price. Let me find all my items that are $18.49 and search for them. Some are going to be in clearance category, some are not. It says I have 497 items that are $18.49. And if you hear any background noise, that's just my laptop processing here. So I'm going to edit these. Edit selected. Well, I could edit all 497. Let's continue on to the next one. I'm going to, it's still loading here. Okay, here we go. Let's bulk edit the buy it now price. I want to change it to, you see on the right hand side is $18.49. It's time to come down to $17.99. It's just a markdown that I've been experimenting with every week, changing things 50 cents. I'm not changing anything else but the price. You didn't know you were getting all these extra little tutorials, side tutorials in this one, did you? It takes a little while to update everything. Looks like everything's updated to the new $17.99 price. And I'm going to submit all. I didn't change anything but the price. And it was every listing in our eBay store that was originally $18.49. It's extremely handy to be able to search from current price. So I think a lot of times we forget we have some of these tools available. We have categories. You have eBay categories too, but I always use my store categories. You have your format. If you want, all of ours are buy it now. You have status options here in your search, current price. Look at all the things that you can search by. It defaults to title, but you can sort by just about anything here, including your shipping policy. Remember, you have all these other options to sort your listings when you're looking for something in particular. Typically, we use the title, but I've been using this current price a lot lately. I hope you found this video helpful. I tried to share a little bit of everything for you. I'm sure I probably forgot something. And if you have something in particular that you'd like to see a tutorial on for eBay, just leave a comment below. Maybe I've already done one and I can refer you to it. Like on calculated shipping, I have one for that. In fact, I'll try to link it at the end of this video because calculated shipping is something that we use all the time. Yeah, I love that feature. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm Vicki with Avante Avenue, and Mark and I will see you soon.